Greetings, family. This is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the Rogue Black Girl and Daughter of the Fates. So I'm going to do a short, I'm going to be disciplined and do a short video today. This video is about the intensity of the last week, actually, the last 2 weeks, actually, the last 3 weeks. Oh my God. So much has happened in the last 3 weeks, and I have not been really disciplined at all in my journaling. So I'm trying to, even tonight, like, this is a part of my purge, is like dumping a lot of content on my various, mediums, but also getting to the point where I am faithfully journaling again. But I wanted to take the time. Today is November 1st. The last 3 weeks have been radically crazy. And I know that it's not just me. I know that everybody is kind of feeling the same kind of radical intensity. And so I just wanted to take a moment to, one, acknowledge that, be in it, but also to be grateful, because I'll tell you a quick story. I came to California, drove to California in 2018, in summer of 2018. I drove to California deliberately in prayer the whole time, and being open to like whatever, you know, unfolded in front of me, and it was magical. One of these days I'm gonna sit and like tell the story so I can be done with telling the story. But it took me 6 weeks to drive out here. It was magical, every moment of it, right? And when I got to California, and I was only supposed to be visiting and never left, but when I got here, that same magic that I was constantly experiencing on the road, I was experiencing every day in California. It was so crazy, yo. It was like every day was just a confirmation and a confirmation and an affirmation of my having arrived at a certain point in my life, right? It was the first time in my adult life where I felt like I was home, right? I It was just magical. Every day something crazy was happening. And then COVID happened. And as we do, it's easy for us to slip, dare I say, backslide into backwards thinking and knee jerk kind of reactions to circumstances, right? So I, like everybody else under the crisis of COVID, started backsliding into like fear reaction and stress reaction and shit like that, right? And hey, sister, how you doing? And so Topanga, Lang. And uh, so anyway, it was easy, you know, to forget that I was surrounded by magic, that I woke up every day for the whole first year that I was here, just like with a meditation that I just knew, I just expected magic, right? And the thing about magic is being able to recognize it when it happens. I think that's the thing for me. So many people get caught up on the big and the bodacious that they don't give the proper props when magic occurs, right? And I'm telling you, every day something amazing was happening in my life, yo. Like, I found a message in the bottle the first time I stepped my foot into the Pacific Ocean. That's magical shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it was constant. Even, it's part of one of the stories I'm gonna tell today, so I won't jump ahead of myself. But anyway, everything, every day, just wonderful, wonderful humans, wonderful experiences, just beautiful displays of magic every day, right? But it's easy to be overwhelmed and overcome um, in this city and in any place else, but in this city in particular, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the extremes here. And so I got caught up in that and I forgot about daily magic, right? So um I say it was a crazy 3 weeks because yeah, I went into the ceremony that was really something else. This was during the week of the full moon in was it the full moon in Taurus, I believe, last month. And then it was also that full moon happened when Pluto stationed direct the same night. Pluto stationed direct after 6 months in retrograde at the time that we're experiencing this Pluto return, like just crazy. And then, the Scorpio solar eclipse. Now we're going into this lunar eclipse. The last 3 weeks have been off the chain, heavy, burdensome. People crazy in their feelings. Everybody's sensitive. Everybody feels it, right? So I'm no different. I'm experiencing these things, and on those days, I'm like, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going outside. I'm gonna be up in here studying or sleeping or whatever, right? Last week was really intense. My family left about a month and a half ago, and I had been so busy since they left that I had not really taken the time to process grief. That I'm sad. I'm very, very sad and feeling very, very lonely most days because, my family's gone. My daughter and my two grandchildren, who I'm obsessed with, are gone. And I feel like what I had been spending the month of September and October, the months of September and October doing was like evading sitting with grief, right? And so this past week, I think it just really kind of came down on me, like the certainty of this next phase in my life. This is the first time I'm living alone, completely alone, since like 2015, since 2015. And it's only the third time in my adult life I've lived completely alone. I've either had children or roommates or whatever. And so I think it was just a kind of combination of all of those things. So last week was deep. It was heavy. It was kind of burdensome. I was feeling some type of way. You feel me? And then this just a session of magical occurrences happened that reminded me that, you know, yeah, that we have to be, like, magic happens every day if we choose to acknowledge it, if we choose to see it, if we choose to take a deep breath, even as things are like seemingly fucked up and deep and burdensome and shit, that if we take the moment and just readjust, doesn't mean that we're evading sitting with our feelings. It doesn't mean we're avoiding dealing with our shit. It's just these gentle reminders that we receive all the time that spirit, and when I say spirit, I mean the spirit of the body of this planet that we reside on, that we live within. I'm talking about mother. I'm talking about the goddess. Do you understand me? I am talking about that entity that we call God, that is all of us. Like one unity consciousness, right? And I'm not talking about no hippie shit neither, okay? But spirit, which is the mother, which is the embodiment of the mother, not just of the planet that we, reside on and within, but the body that she resides in. You know what I'm saying? And so that entity, that energy, that spirit wants us to be happy. God damn it. And I'm not talking about some phony, fake kind of displays of happiness. I'm talking about the same way your mama, the one that gave birth to you in general, wants you to be happy. She is made happy by your happiness. She is made happy by the smiles and the giggles and the laughs of her babies, right? That's what feeds her soul, is to know that she can make it so, that your experience on earth is pleasurable, it's happy, it's blissful, it's ecstatic. That should be the norm. That should be the standard. But because we live in an environment that has removed our memory of the standard, the foundation is supposed to be ecstasy, baby. Happiness, bliss, joy, gratitude about our very existence, about our very being. That's supposed to be our standard. But because our memory has been wiped clean of that standard and the fact that we have lived that standard before, it becomes easy to accept a patriarchal narrative that teaches us that suffering is our only way to salvation, baby. And so we welcome the suffering. We sit in the suffering. We open ourselves up to more suffering because that has become our standard. It's the only way to extract essence from human beings. Y'all ain't hearing what the hell I'm telling you. It is the only way to guarantee the exploitation of human labor, darling, is to make you forget that the foundation, the starting point under the mother is ecstasy. Your mother, if her birth was uninterrupted, if her birth was, not traumatic, your mother has an orgasm at the time that you incarnate. That's some deep ass shit, baby. That's deep. That you are baptized in sacred blood and sacred water and in orgasmic ecstasy of your mother at this thing that she has created. You understand? So, yes, Topanga, we think we have to suffer in order to earn happiness because that's what we've been conditioned to accept. And we can't expect that happiness in this realm. We got to wait till the great by and by, you see. So that's a long preface to say that even as deep and as necessary as me sitting with my grief this week, sitting with my sadness this week, like honoring that I'm human, I'm God, but I am God having a human experience. I am God having a material existence, you see. And so I too not only need to experience the ecstasy and the bliss and so on, there are these moments that help me to understand how to recognize bliss and ecstasy. Those moments are those things that we don't really like feeling, right? Like sadness and grief and loneliness. And I had to feel that shit this week. And I felt it, and I felt it deep. I was laid up in here about 12 to 16 hours a day. You understand? And when I honored that, I didn't feel guilty about it. I didn't try to force myself out of it. I didn't create distractions to escape it. I just sat with the shit, cried through the shit. You understand what I'm saying? Dude, I did the same thing I tell my patients to do. I did the same thing for myself that I tell my clients to do, right? And once that happened, baby, let me just tell you, this whole post is about, and I'm keeping this short, is about spirit constantly demonstrating magic. And I accept small magic as just as equally significant as big magic. You understand? I feel like honoring the small magic makes it so that when we receive big magic, we are grateful, truly, genuinely in awe with gratitude for those ways that spirit shows out on our behalf. And she does. Okay? So I just want to tell you a few things that happened this week. I want to, take a moment to also acknowledge that I'll say 75% of the time, yes, 75% of the time, maybe 50-50, but I'm leaning towards 75% of the time, our blessings, our miracles, those magical happenings in our lives are as a consequence of spirit using human beings to ensure that. You understand what I'm saying? So you find a $20 bill on the road. It didn't just materialize out of non-space, out of space, out of thin air. Some human somewhere made that blessing possible. They dropped it. Maybe it wasn't as significant to them as it would be you. This is the way Spirit uses us to facilitate and become and are able to be blessings to others, right? Whether deliberately or accidentally. So this happened so many times this week. It's only been a week, baby. But I had to make a list. That's why I need to start journaling again. I had to make a list to my phone. I was like, this is magical shit that's happened this week. So even though it's been heavy and burdensome and, and whatever, we impacted by what's happening in the heavens. So the first thing that happened was I'm always plotting and scheming. It's one of my afflictions is, that's a discussion for another day. But anyway, so I've been plotting this retreat for some time, right? And my issue was like consolidating a location. And, consolidating a location, the kind of location that would do what it needed to do, that would allow for me to facilitate what I need to facilitate, right? So I found a location, drove out to the desert to go see a homeboy of mine. Let me tell you what happened on the way to the desert. That's the other part of the blessing. My homegirl, Annie, I called her at the last minute. I was like, look, let's go to the desert. And she debated about it. And then she was like, yeah, let's go to the desert. So we drove out to the Mojave Desert, which is about an hour and a half away from here. A friend of mine, Dika, has got some really beautiful land. And the reason that I wanted to drive out there was to talk to him about, he owns a lot of land. And so I was like, I had this idea. I was driving back from Vegas the week before that, which was also fucking crazy. Okay. Like stupid crazy. Right. So I'm driving back from Vegas. I'm taking my time now because I'm so frustrated. I have literally driven 18 miles. I'm 18 hours and 24 hours. That's not a joke. Within 2 days, I drove 18 hours. Sorry for another day, child. But I was hot and frustrated and irritated. But I'm driving through this vast desert between LA and Vegas. I slept in the desert and I was like, I need to buy some land. So I called my homeboy. We went to go see him in the Mojave Desert, and that was what I was going to talk to him about. I wanted to inquire about what the process would be. I asked him, like, would you be willing to sell me an acre of land, right? And he was like, I'm not gonna part with any land. But I'll tell you how to buy land out here near me. And in the meantime, if you want to build some shit on the land, that's cool. Because my idea was I wanted to put up a yurt somewhere. I want to buy a little yurt. You understand what I'm saying? And when I need to check the fuck out of Hollywood, which is where I live, when I need a few days to check out of Hollywood, I can just post up on my little piece of, property, in my little yurt, you understand? Sleep outside under the stars, rejuvenate, and then come back refreshed, right? So, so I talked to him. He was like, "Nah, I ain't gonna sell you no land, but if you want to put a yurt on the land, girl, yeah, do that, and you don't have to pay no rent." Like some of the people that live on his land, they pay a little bit of something, $250, $350 a month in rent. He's like, you ain't got to pay no rent. Let's just do some shit together. I was like, I said, well, now that you mention it, I've been thinking about wanting to do this this retreat for the winter solstice, and I've been really scratching my head about where I was going to do it. I didn't want to do it inside, right? I wanted to be outside, but I didn't know anywhere that I would be able to do what I want. Like if I had my way and budget wasn't an issue, this is what I want to do. I didn't see how that was going to happen within LA city limits. I just didn't see it, right? And so he was like, yeah, do it here. Let's talk about it. So that was a blessing, big and totally unintended. I secured a location for the retreat that I'm planning for the winter solstice. Details will be forthcoming this week. So that was big. That was huge. That was the way I started off the week last week. That was on Monday that happened. And, but let me tell you, I did a ritual. I have not been really up on a ritual. You understand what I'm saying? And that's been mildly deliberate, I'll be honest, because there's some other shit that I'm going through, man, about tradition and about ritual and about outward displays of devotion. And is this going to be the norm going forward? Like, I've been on some real wormhole shit, you know what I'm saying, about ritual and about spirit. But this particular weekend, 2 days before I went to the desert, I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead, light some candles, you understand, put some flowers up, put some fresh water out, yes, smudge the place, you understand, blow some cinnamon up in this joint, whatever, whatever. So I did all the things. It's 2 days before. And so I am driving to the desert with my homegirl. Now, this is a regular Midwestern, all-American, white middle-class young lady, right? We're driving to the desert. I'm driving, and I'm like, oh my God. And I hit the brakes. And she's like, what's the matter? What's the matter? Child, let me tell you about spiritual gifts, okay? Man, we're on the way to the desert for me to get this big blessing from this brother, right? And en route, 2 days after doing my first ritual in quite some time, that's another story for another day too. I found an owl. This was my gift from spirit en route to having this discussion about this the spiritual retreat I'm going to be facilitating in December. But I found this owl. Oh, this owl, baby, this owl, I found her, and she couldn't have been dead an hour. Her body was not stiff. The blood was fresh. Oh, and I have another little thing to say about that. The blood was, there was not a single insect present. Her body was still limp. And so I'm out on the side of the road. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to put her, on the ground so the animals can take her. And I'm just going to take a couple of feathers. But I was having a hard time myself pulling the feathers. So I was like, fuck it. We're going to take her with us to the desert. And then I will see if the brother can put her out and help me take a couple of feathers. Right. So we get out there to the Mojave Desert. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna let you process her here. So he put her up and spread her out so that she could be processed. Now let me just tell you the other thing about finding this bird, and even driving through the desert in Nevada. That morning when Andy came to pick me up, I had been Googling on Amazon and all over Google, really trying to find small bird bones. Right? I was like, I need bird bones, like raw bird bones that have been like ethically sourced. You know what I'm saying? Like roadkill, whatever, whatever. Because a friend of mine made these beautiful earrings, and I was like, I had been using wood mostly in my jewelry making, but I was like, man, the bone is really dope. And the only thing I've been using the bone for is like already carved bone for goddess jewelry and stuff. So I was like, I want to make something similar to this, use this as my inspiration. So I've been looking for bird bones, small bones, bird bones. That morning, she picks me up, and not an hour later, we find this beautiful bird on the road. Now, let me just tell you about that, okay? California is such an enigma, and people, it never ceases to amaze me how little attention people pay to what's happening in California in general. I go camping a lot. I go hiking a lot. I'm outside a lot. And one thing that is, especially when I was in the desert for all them hours this past week, and I'm talking about Nevada, the water is disappearing in this state. All over the state, whole massive bodies of water are drying up at a radical pace. I mean, there are rivers that you can still, like when you put your MapQuest on or you Google Maps on and you drive over a bridge and you're looking at your MapQuest and the MapQuest shows a big ass river that used to be there, but you looking outside and there's no river there. There's like branches and tumbleweed and shit where there used to be river, whole massive rivers gone, whole massive lakes gone in this state, right? That in and of itself is alarming. But baby, people are not even paying attention to the impact that it is having on everything. I will go hiking in the woods, child, and not hear a bird, not see an animal, not see a bug. I'm telling you, not see a bug. And that shit blows my mind. I grew up in the country, okay? So it was not uncommon to daily see roadkill, to daily hear bugs, see bugs, animals. Like I used to walk 2 miles each way or at my family home, which was way, way in the country for the longest time. Our nearest neighbor was maybe 2 miles away. You feel me? And so I would walk to the bridge, walk back to the bridge, walk down to the other bridge, walk back to the bridge. That was 2 miles. And see snakes just run across the road, see deer poke their head out, run back. You just always saw animals. You just always saw stuff, just creatures, just out and about doing their damn thing. Baby, I'm telling you, to not see creatures and you be hiking for 3 hours to not see creatures. That shit blows my mind. It's creepy to be in the vastness of California and not see animals at all. To pitch your tent and not hear bugs at night. That shit is wild to me. And that shit don't faze nobody out here. Shit just like, oh, child. So anyway, it was not a small thing. I don't see roadkill ever. The drive from here to Nevada is 4 hours. I didn't see a single dead thing anywhere. I didn't see a single living thing, not even a mouse. Nowhere in a 4-hour trip, one way to Vegas. And I was on the road 18 hours because I had to drive there, drive back, drive there, drive back in 2 days, right? And so no, I didn't see it. And so I was like, damn. And then I go a few days later to the Mojave Desert, and the first animal I've seen in the 24 hours of being on straight open road was this owl. So it was huge. It wasn't a small thing that we found her. And plus, you never see owls anyway as roadkill because they're nocturnal. They don't get that close to the freeway. So she must have been chasing something. You understand? And somebody sideswiped her while she was trying to eat. But anyway, so that's one thing that happened en route to this other thing that happened that I told you about with Dika. Then these things are going to strike you all as small, but I'm telling you for a reason. One is to outwardly acknowledge that Spirit is always gifting us. Spirit wants us to be happy. Spirit wants us to remember that happiness is our starting point, that ecstasy, bliss, and the joy of existence is the starting point. And so she will give us little subtle blessings all the time to kind of help bring our consciousness back into this natural state that we're supposed to be in, and this unnatural state that that has been imposed on us, right? So I go to this there's this little club walking distance from my house called Black Rabbit Rose. Cute little dive. They have live music like 6 nights a week. And I go in there one night, and the other thing, the place is cute, but California, especially LA, is in desperate need of a goddamn renaissance. Okay? A desperate need for a renaissance. So I go to these places. People don't dance. You know, people sit in a place and we'll hear a band turned up and sit there and golf clap and carry on. Look, I dance. If I'm the only one dancing, that's on y'all. They ain't got shit to do with me and Spirit. I'm cutting the fuck up. If the music's hot, if the vibe is dope, I'm cutting up. I don't care, right? So I go into this place, I'm sitting against the wall, you understand what I'm saying? And then the band start cutting up. So when the band cut up, I'm gonna cut up. So I'm dancing. I'm the only one in the room dancing, of course. I'm dancing. That's my job, whatever, right? And I had a blast. I had a really good time. Even being there by myself, I had a great time. I got to dance. The band was dope, whatever. The ugly lights come on. This is this past Saturday. This is this past Friday night. And so it's Halloween weekend. Everybody dressed up or whatever. This young girl, baby young, like baby young, comes up to me. Everybody's leaving. I'm pulling my stuff together in my purse or whatever. And she sits at the table where I'm sitting, and she says, "I just want to tell you that I've been here for 3 days. I'm here to see a show, and I'm having a blast." She said, "But I want to tell you that watching you have fun was the highlight of my whole trip." She said, "There is nothing that I appreciate more than Black joy." That's what she said. Some random stranger from Dallas, a white girl, walked up to me in this club in full makeup. She was dressed up as, what's that girl name? Harley Quinn. She was dressed up as Harley Quinn, like a punk rock Harley Quinn. Walked up to me and she said, "There is nothing that makes me happier than seeing Black joy." I said, "Okay, I accept that." You understand what I'm saying? The same night, I go to pay my bill at the bar, and the bartender was like, "You know what? Hold on, I have something for you." He said, I enjoy watching you have fun tonight. He was like, "Tonight, work didn't feel like work because you were here. Hold on just a second." And the man brought me flowers. He went into the back, did whatever he was doing. He was like, "Don't move, wait here," and brought me flowers. As a matter of fact, right there. Here, let me show you. He brought me a whole bouquet of flowers, right? Nobody buys me flowers, ever. I can't even, nobody ever buys me flowers. This man brought me flowers, orchids, roses, just beautiful, right? I was like, wow, it's all in the same night, okay? So I went to another place. The band was dope. The shit was hot. It was a whole like dope ass horn section. I'm doing me. I'm cutting up like I do. Now, when I cut up, and you can ask my friend Goombi, I used to say this shit all the time. Like, I used to joke with Goombi about how I was going to have to start sticking a blade, like a shank, up my sleeve, because even if I'm the only Black person in the room, white people will find a way to like act like I'm invisible on the dance floor, right? And so, anyway, I go to this bar. I am minding my own damn business. I'm having a blast. I'm vibing with the band. You understand? There are two young ladies in front of me, but they cool. They doing them, right? I'm in my little space. I don't be taking up no whole bunch of space on the dance floor. I'm just in my bag. You know what I'm saying? And apparently one of their homegirls sees them standing in front of me close to the stage. And so she comes and she stands next to me for a second. Then she taps her homegirl in front of me on the shoulder, right? And so I ain't paying no attention to it. I'm like, okay, I see her, but she just trying to get her homegirl attention. Then all of a sudden, this girl's arm like moves up against me to slide her way up in front of me where her homegirls are, and didn't say a goddamn word. Like, I work. And I try, like, I'm not a non-confrontational person, but when I go out, it's about me. I'm not trying to like, I ain't one of those that go looking for trouble when I go. I'm trying to have a good time. That's all. I want to go dancing. That is all. I just want to go dance. I don't go to church. This is what church is for me. You feel me? So this girl just gonna like move her ass in front of me and is literally standing right in front, like she ain't see me standing there. I said, "Excuse you, bitch." Like, what the fuck? And now I'm hot because all it would have taken, I see that these are your friends in front of me. All it would have taken is you saying, "Excuse me, can I stand with my friends?" Baby, I would have backed up. I would have. because that's respectful. And, we all here trying to have a good time. That didn't happen. This trick pushed me out the way to stand in front of her friends and then stand literally 2 inches in front of me. And so I tapped her hard on the shoulder. I said, "Excuse you, bitch." And so now her friends are like, "Oh my God, we're so sorry." I was like, "What y'all apologizing for? Y'all been here the whole time." I said, "This girl act like," I said, "Am I not standing here?" I said, "I know you see me. I'm big. I'm black, bitch. I know you see me. So, like, what is it? I'm hot now. I'm upset because you disrupted my motherfucking peace. And you didn't have me jump out of character when I was in here having a good time, unbothered." You understand what I'm saying? So I'm mad. I'm like, the audacity of this trifling trickster. You feel me? Her friends the whole time. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." So now I'm like, you know what? Let me go get a drink because I just don't need nobody getting on this ain't the space that I came up in here. You understand? And you can't have that. So I go get a drink and I go stand right back where the fuck I was, right? A few minutes later, one of her homegirls comes back up to me and with a drink for me. And she says, "I want to apologize again." I said, "You can stop apologizing." I said, "You can stop apologizing." She was like, "I know, I know." I was like, "No." I said, "Your homegirl still ain't came over here and said, you know what? I am sorry. That was disrespectful," or whatever. She ain't said that. But you and your homegirl, y'all was all apologetic, and there was no need for you to be apologetic. She was like, "I'm just saying." She said, "I know what the basis of that was." I said, "Oh, really?" Because now I'm an ass. I'm annoyed all over again. She was like, "I know what that was about, and that's what I'm apologizing for." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "What was that about?" She was like, "It's that damn, internalized privilege that we have and we move in the world with and we act oblivious to." Just what this young white girl told me. We act oblivious to. And I recognized it as soon as it happened. And that's what I want to apologize for, is this way that our privilege makes us blind. She said, "You deserve to be seen all the time." That's what this young white girl said. You deserve to be seen all the time. And for her doing that, I apologize. I was like, you know what? I accept that. I accept that. And I also accept that y'all all know better, even if y'all play stupid. Y'all all know what you were doing in your nasty little fucking microaggressions, even if you play dumb. Because the whole time her two homegirls came apologizing and shit like that, motherfucker never came back over to me, and which would have been simple. But the whole thing would have been avoidable if she would have taken the 1 second it would have taken to say, "Excuse me, my friends are up here. Can I get up here? Can I get next to you or in front of you or whatever?" Child, I've been to punk rock shows. It ain't a thing. But she made it a thing. And she acted like I wasn't standing there. So anyway, the other girl was like, "You know what? You deserve to be seen all the time. And for that, I'm sorry. And here, I want to buy you a drink." Cool, right? Money appeared this week. I was stressing. I ain't had no dividends, you feel me? Didn't know where I was going to get no dividends. It was Halloween weekend and I was busted, you feel me? And I'm checking all my little apps. I'm checking my PayPal, I'm a this and my that. And I was like, I'm looking because I was like, I don't know why I'm looking up in here. I know I ain't got no damn money. And money appeared. $50 out of nowhere just appeared. So I want to shout out my girl Kalada, because I didn't get any notifications and the money had been there a week. I didn't know it. It was just sitting there. And I want to shout her out because I had done this little short, a very little short. And in the short, I said, you know what? I said, all of this shit I'm doing, these posts, the fan club, the book club that I'm doing, not charging a dime. The only homework I give people when I do this shit is to like, share, subscribe, share my fucking shit so that I can monetize my pages. That's it. You understand? And I said, but you know what? God damn it. Now I need disciples. Like, I am building something out here and now I need disciples. That was how I ended the video, right? So I go on this night and I'm like, bummed because I ain't got no money. You feel me? And I open my PayPal and there's money there from a week ago that I did not know was there. And the from a sister Carlotta, and the the little note that you can leave says, "I'll be your disciple." I was like, yeah, Yes. Damn it. Yes. So that happened, right? A response to the demand. It's not a request. It's not a request. You understand? So anyway, that happened. So shout that out, right? Then I'm crossing off my list of blessings. Okay? Let me tell you what happened 2 days ago. I'm going to pick up my homegirl, Annie, from the airport. I got an attitude. I haven't left the house all day because I've just been in this kind of mood that was not conducive to me being out in the world. You understand? I was like, I'm going to just sit with this shit until time to go pick this woman up from the airport. So I leave the house with all kind of funk in my attitude. You feel me? I get in the car. I drive 3 blocks from my apartment. 3 blocks. I'm on Santa Monica Boulevard. I stop at a stop sign. I'm listening to myself. I'm watching one of my YouTube videos because that's how I prepare for the workshop. So I told y'all I'm doing a workshop that's coming Saturday on the Great Cosmic Mother. And so I listen to myself reading the book so I can recall different things that I want to highlight to draw out in our discussion on the book club. So I got the book playing as audio on the speaker, and I got it playing loud. And I stop at the stop sign and I hear this honk. And so I'm already in a stinking mood. And so I look over to my right. And I know my face looked just like this. Because I'm like, who the hell is honking at me? And I let my window down. And the woman in the car next to me says, "Is your name Cassandra?" I said, yes. I don't know this woman. Okay. Like that, by my face. I said, so now this goes from this confused, right? I said, yeah, I'm Cassandra. She said, girl, we are friends on Facebook. I said, holy shit. I said, are you serious? I'm on Santa Monica Boulevard at 2 o'clock, high traffic in the afternoon. And this car pulls up next to me and says, are you Cassandra? Girl, we are friends on Facebook. I said, have we ever met? She said, no, we ain't never met in person. I was like, oh my God. I'm not in a car that anybody would nick. I'm not in my car. You know what I'm saying? That shit was wild. So she says, yeah. I said, what's your name on Facebook? She says, Pamela My Eye. So shout out Pamela My Eye. She says, Pamela My Eye. She said, girl, we've been friends on Facebook for a long time. She's like, yeah. I was like, holy shit. She said, you know what, girl? It's because of you that I'm reading The Great Cosmic Mother. I said, okay, yes, right? I'm hyped. I done put it in. I'm in study mode. You understand what I'm saying? And this woman at this time of the day, high traffic, and like, what are the odds that she would just end up beside me on Santa Monica Boulevard, talking about, hey, how she see me in this car? You Cassandra? That shit was, and I'm telling you, I'm laughing about it, but I acknowledge it as a blessing because that shit happens to me so often. It's insane. I have gone to places I have never been. The first time I ever went to Philly, I was working this event, a huge event at this private Black charter school in Philly. And there are like 100 vendors at the school I'm vending. There are 100 vendors, Black people as far as the eye can see. You feel me? Like chaos in this place. And we're inside the school. So we're not outside. We're inside the school. All of the vendors are lined up around the perimeter of this hallway that is one big giant square. And I hear from down the hallway where I am set up, Iyapo! Iyapo! I'm like, I don't know nobody. And this is my first time in Philly ever. I'm like, who the hell is yelling at me down the hall? And so I see this woman and like these 2 other older women with her like kind of hurrying towards me. And I never forget a face, ever, ever, ever. I may not remember your name, but I never forget a face. And so I'm looking confused because I don't recognize this face. And I was like, hey, how you doing? She was like, oh, girl, you don't know me. You don't know me. I was like, okay. I said, how do you know my name? My name used to be Iyapo, for those who haven't been with me long. I was like, how do you know my name? She was like, girl, we friends on Facebook. I said, what? I was like, how did you recognize me? I mean, because even people that I meet on Facebook, that's different than meeting somebody face to face, talking to them, whatever, right? This woman is yelling at me from down the goddamn hallway, talking about, Iyapo. It happened when I got to LA. I went to this event called the Many Winners Gathering of the Elders. This ain't nothing but Native and Mexican people, Native and Mexica, Azteca people, South American people. Nothing but. You might in a 4-day weekend see 1-2 other Black people, but nothing but Native people. I had not been in California a month when I went to this event. That happened. That same scenario happened 4 times in a weekend. 4 times. I've been in California. This is one of the magical events that kept me here. 4 times in a weekend, Native people and Mexican people were like, Iyapo, we friends on Facebook. I'm like, what the fuck? I have not been in California 8 years at this time. I had not been, like, that was the last time I'd been here. 8 years. And I go to an event a month after I get here, and all these Native people and all these Mexica people are like, Iyapo, oh girl, we friends on Facebook. That happened 4 times in a weekend. Like, what are the odds, right? So this woman pulls up to me in high traffic, on a Monday, on a Tuesday, something. What's today? Oh, it was on a Thursday. No, it was on Sunday. Whatever, whenever it was. It's like, hey, Cassandra, we friends on Facebook, girl. I was like, okay, I accept that. That's like a nod. But if you don't recognize it as a spiritual intervention, you will miss the majesty of existing. I am telling you, these are not small things. These are not small things. That story I just told you about the owl, the same thing happened 2 years ago with this bird that I processed myself. Exact same scenario. When I told my homeboy about it, he was like, are you fucking kidding? Because I was leaving his house when it happened. This was 2 years ago that I found this bird. You understand? Same way, whatever. And then, yeah. And so those were the blessings. I think I got them all. And those were the facilitators of those blessings. Pamela and Annie and Dika and, who else? The bartender and Monica, who says she just loves seeing Black joy. Like, there's nothing that made her happier than seeing Black joy. Maybe that's a hell of a statement. That's a hell of a statement, especially considering that I have been so unhappy. I had been so sad the whole week. You understand? So it means something when somebody says something like that to me. So anyway, I didn't mean for this to be long. Damn, I don't know how to keep shit short, child. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share. I wanted to start this month, November 1st, with just an acknowledgement of the ever presence of magic in our lives. If we choose to see it and accept it, it is. That doesn't mean that deep shit ain't coming, because it's coming, baby. We in Scorpio season with this damn eclipse coming up here in a few days. You feel me? This shit deep. So all you can do is focus on ecstasy, focus on joy, happiness, bliss. Hug people for no other reason than the fact that they exist. You don't just hug people because they exist. Just hold hands with somebody just because you friends. You understand? We touch starved out this bitch, skin starved. You understand? I know that's what I'm suffering from. It's not just me being sad. I was getting hugs and kisses every day, and now all of a sudden I'm in this bitch by myself and I ain't touched a human being in who the fuck knows how long. You understand? I'm a doctor. I know what this shit is, partly. You understand? And so, rub somebody's motherfucking shoulders for no other reason than that they exist. You know what I'm saying? Like, be deliberate in being open to receive and see magic when it occurs, even if it's seemingly small. Your mother needs the affirmation. She needs to know that you are grateful for those things that she gives freely and willingly all the time. All the time. Do water rituals and expect nothing in return. And that's what I was telling you earlier when I'm really debating about, I've been really sitting with how we handle ritual. And ritual, a whole great percentage of the time, is something that we perform when we want some shit. And it doesn't matter what shit is. It can be healing. It can be whatever. We always conduct ritual because we want some shit. And I'm in this place right now where I'm like, when I am deliberate about ritual, I go with no expectations. I don't go asking for shit. I'm telling you something. I don't go asking for mother. I don't go asking mother for shit. Not even for myself. I go and say, you deserve. Here you go. This is my offering. And that's it. That's all. Thank you so much. That's it. That's the all. Thank you so much for imparting magic in my life all the time. Thank you so much. That's it. That's all. Right? So, and I'll tell you, some of the other things that I offer isn't just, I don't want to get that deep into it, but I've just been looking at this whole thing about traditions and offerings and rituals and shit, and how it becomes emblematic of opportunism to me. I don't know if that makes sense, but it just becomes like these things that we become engaged in opportunistically. And I'm really trying to reimagine and re-understand, like, the giving to the mother for no other reason than to express gratitude. And so I even, instead of, because even like I was thinking about composting, right? Like, I have a real big issue with waste. And so I was saving all this food, but I don't have no garden, and I haven't, so I'm saving all my food scraps. I'm like, what am I going to do with these food scraps? Where can I take them where people can use them or whatever? And it was like a problem. Like, I was gathering gnats and shit, trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do with these food scraps. And baby spirit is always answering questions and everything. I'm Googling some shit totally unrelated, and something comes up about Hecate, right? The tri-goddess, the triple goddess, right? And I'm familiar with Hecate because I read up on all the goddesses of all the cultures. I have for years and years and years. This particular day that I'm stressing about all these food scraps on my counter and what the hell I'm gonna do with them, I've never read this in all the years. I've never read this about Hecate, but in the ancient worship of Hecate, she was the goddess of refuge, right? Of trash, of trash. And in this particular reading, it was saying that one of the rituals that people used to perform to Hecate was to take their food scraps and offer them to her during the witching hour on a trifecta road, on a triple road, like a road with a fork, right? And so they would take the scraps to the fork in the road, and that's where they would leave their offering of scraps or refuge to Hecate. I was like, yes, because even that's not to say that I am opposed to composting, because I'm not. Compost, it's a great idea. But even when we compost, it's not an offering that we're making to the earth. It is something that we're doing to ensure that we receive something in return. And so all these people are talking about composting as a way to prevent, waste from going to landfills where it ends up just rotting and turning into methane gas and stuff like that. Awesome. But I was like, it just struck me as brilliant that people were like, I don't expect anything in return. This is what Hecate needs. I'm going to offer my scraps so that the other animals have access to it. The offerings that I make are circular, if you will. right? So that's what I started doing regularly, expecting nothing in return, gathering my food scraps every week and taking them somewhere out on my hiking trail or whatever and offering them to spirit. And the offering being something that becomes useful all along the process, right? So and I'm saying that because even when we do ritual, it's usually because we want some shit. It's usually we want a blessing, or we want to bless somebody else, and all of that is fine, but it's lopsided. We're not, a lot of the time we don't practice ritual in a spirit of reciprocity. It is I need, I want, I need, and I am trying to be a lot more deliberate in practicing reciprocity with the Mother Earth. Her giving and our taking is hella unbalanced. Hella unbalanced. Because if you have me tell it, you understand. And this is a part of patriarchal fucking deity worship. We have robbed Mother Earth for a very, very long time. First, by cremation rituals, and second, by burial rituals, burying the bodies of our loved one in boxes where Mother Earth can never make use and recycle their bodies, or burning them up so that which we are can participate in a true circle of life that has all of the creatures of the world participate, right, in our recycling. And so even in my advanced directives and shit like that, like, I don't want to be mummified. I don't want to be in a coffin. I want to be fully buried, full fleshly within days in the body of the mother, so that I can be a full participant. It's like the greatest display of gratitude. Like, yes, mother, I came from you. You can have me back when I'm gone. And to be fully immersed and surrounded, in the body of the mother, so she can do as she sees fit with our flesh. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, I digress. But anyway, this week is a great week for doing ritual. That is just gratitude ritual. Don't be asking for shit. Don't be begging spirit for shit. Spirit give you shit all the time. Every day, spirit is blessing your punk ass, and you ain't sitting and being grateful about it. Why don't you just do something for spirit for a change? Why don't you just do something for Mother Earth for a change? Why don't you just do something for your ancestors for a change and not expect anything in return? Just do the ritual and say thank you so much for your support and your guidance and the many, 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 many ways that you bless me on a regular basis. Thank you so much. Accept this offering and do with it what you will. That's it. We beg too damn much. And I ain't outside the clique. I'm just saying, I try to be a lot more mindful. So that's what I'm asking you to do this week. So that's all I wanted to say today. And speaking of offerings, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, I promise. And I did this for a reason, so I wouldn't forget. Also, as blessings, I do blood rituals, but I don't do blood rituals of animals anymore. Because I have a magical body that produces blood offerings every month. You understand what I'm saying? That has magical medicine in it. You understand? Called stem cells. There are more stem cells in menstrual blood than in umbilical blood, and in what they've been, using as stem cell research is the bodies of aborted fetuses. And unlike those mediums, there is more stem cells in menstrual blood than any other source that they found so far. So I, being a woman of a certain age and know that, I won't be able to do this for a long time. I'm 47 years old. I capture my moon blood every month, and I make offerings with my moon blood. I go to some tree. I go to some tree. I go to some body of water. Usually I'll read on it. whether it's going to be salt water or whether it's going to be fresh water. You can see it looks like wine. It's diluted. But anyway, I collect my moon blood every month, and it seems like a lot. It is a lot. It is a lot, because these 4 bottles that I've just shown you is only 2 months. It's only 2 cycles. So anyway, I'm collecting my moon blood. You filter it with water, you dilute it with water before you use it on like plants. But I offer it to the soil. I offer it to trees. I offer it to bodies of water. And I put this out to make a call, right? I put this out to make a call because I had this dream. And so I was like, I'm going to tell people about the dream, and then they do with it what they will. I had this dream 2 weeks ago because I've been having crazy ass dreams ever since I went into this ritual that like kind of fucked me up. But in this dream, I dreamt that I made a call. So I was like, all right, I'm going to make the call. Made a call to women. I know it's ambitious, but we have 2 months. It's November 1st, and then we have December. And so that's potentially 2 moon blood cycles. And now you've heard it, and share it with as many people as you hear, as you know that are still bleeding. But I'm making a call. I'm just making a call based on what I got, based on what I received. That those who still menstruate, save your moon blood for the next 2 months. And on the solstice, on the winter solstice, which is December 21st, take your collected moon blood. What would be awesome? So one of the things that I saw, and you can Google it, is I saw a picture. I'd seen it years ago, and so after I saw this dream, I was like, oh shit, let me find this picture, right? But I saw this picture of the United States. So whatever, this is like, a really terrible drawing, but I saw this picture of the United States with only its waterways and its water veins, nothing else showing, just its waterways and its water veins, and the Mississippi River, along with the Great Lakes, right, is like the aorta of the United States. They showed all of the waterways that branched only off the Mississippi River, and it was like 2/3 of the country is fed off the Mississippi River, right? And then there are other big, tributaries and stuff like that. So this is kind of what it looked like, but you can Google it. You can Google, shoot, that light is bright. Okay. You can Google the United States waterways, right? And it'll come up. And so obviously the Mississippi River, feeds into the Gulf of Mexico, and the Gulf of Mexico was plagued by red tide every year and all of this stuff. I was like, because of the agricultural industry. The agricultural industry has really taken a toll on the Mississippi River, and subsequently all the little tributaries that come off of it, the rivers, the streams, so on and so forth. So my idea, well, at least that was given to me in this dream, was to call on 100,000 people who still menstruate and have them collect their moon blood and take it, if not to the Mississippi River, but that would be great to have 100,000 motherfuckers just lining the entire length of the Mississippi River and offering their moon blood to the river. But if you don't live near or cannot travel to the Mississippi River, take your moon blood to any body of water that is near you. Now, this isn't in a vacuum. 2 years ago, as a matter of fact, on today, I might have to do a separate video. 2 years ago on today, exactly, I did ayahuasca for the first time on November 1st, and on November 1st, 2020. And I started menstruating the night that I did ayahuasca. And so my whole road trip, that was in Atlanta. So my whole road trip was coming up, driving back to California, I was going to be menstruating. And Spirit told me when my period came on during ayahuasca, capture all your moon blood in every freshwater way that you come into contact with from here to California. Stop and offer your moon blood. And I did that. So I've given moon blood to the Mississippi River. I've given moon blood to all from Atlanta through the northern portion. So the northern portion, because I went to Birmingham, I stopped in Mississippi, I stopped in Memphis, I stopped in Arkansas, Oklahoma, northern Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, all the way across the country. I was making these stops. Anytime I found a big body fresh water, I would pull over and offer my moon blood to this body of water. So I've done that. And the reason I did that is because as a scientist, and I just told you, these little magic bottles of blood here contain stem cells. I was like, well, if stem cells can heal all of these freaking diseases and it's so powerful, what can it do to heal the waterways of of this country that have been destroyed by the agricultural industry? And we don't wash our blood soaked sheets and clothing in the rivers anymore. Up until the 1950s and 60s, agricultural people were just taking the blood soaked sheets and clothes of the women and their family, the women and girls in their family, and remineralizing their soil with it. And also that blood was going into the river where they were washing their clothes. And we don't do that anymore. Our blood gets wrapped up tight in these little, things where it can't do anything. And so my idea was have 100,000 motherfuckers this year on the winter solstice, the time of the mother, offer their moon blood to a body of water. So that's the call. Make it to others, send them here to this link. That's the call. I'm probably going to do a whole separate promo just for that. If you're still menstruating, capture your moon blood. And on December 21st, as you're offering to the mothers, offer your moon blood to some body of water that is near you, whether it's ocean water or whether it's fresh water. And let's see what happens. Say a prayer. Pray that the essence that is housed in the moon blood be just as healing and transformative to the body of the earth as it is to the body of humans. Like all that, whatever. Say the prayer, offer the blood, and let's see what happens. Anyway, that's the last thing I'm gonna say. Thanks so much. This is Cassandra Floyd, daughter of the Fates, and I will be back tomorrow with some shit that's gonna blow your mind. I have to finish studying tonight for that, though. So thank everybody for tuning in, and I will see you again on tomorrow. All right, peace. Oh, follow my pages. Daughter of the Fates, IG, daughter _of_the_ Fates. Also IG, my business page, release.heart.center. That's IG. Iyapo Ngina on Twitter still, and Cassandra Floyd on Facebook, and Cassandra Floyd on YouTube. So follow me there, like, share, subscribe. Oh, and TikTok, I'm also daughter of the Fates, underscore under each after each word. So follow all my shit, like all my shit, subscribe all my shit, share all my shit, and yeah. Thank you so much.